Welcome back, everyone. NicknLex here. Thank you so much for joining me to today's video. Today we got a very interesting marathon by JK. Very cool idea indeed. All these songs that I'm about to react to have been covered in some way on Broadway. So we have, for example, these songs were originally from these Broadway shows. We have, for example, the Threepenny Opera, Knickerbocker Holiday, Pippin, Hare, and West Side Story. And we're, of course, talking about the song Mack the Knife. This is sung here by Darin from the album That's All. This is from 1959, Darin. Then the second one is going to be the September song from Lou Reed, Lost on the Stars. And it says here, the music of Kurt Weill. This is from 1985. Very interesting. Then we have the Jackson 5, Corner of the Sky, Skywriter, from the album Skywriter, 73. Awesome, Jackson 5. I've heard some Jackson 5. Then, I know this is from here. Aquarius, Let the Sunshine In, from the Fifth Dimension. It says 1966 to 1975. And then, believe it or not, this is from Yes, Something's Coming, from the album Yes. That's their I think that's the first album, 1969. Let me just check before I confirm that. I think there was one before, or was that Genesis? Let's see. The Yes album. Yeah, there was one before. The Yes album. Oh no, wait a minute. It's the same album. Let's see. Beyond and Before. And on this one, Beyond and Before. Yeah, this is definitely the first Yes album. So, I mean, I'm gonna, listen to, a little bit from all styles of music, and it's so cool that all this has been played on Broadway at some time. So that's super interesting. Thank you again, JK, for this marvelous idea, and of course for making the video happen, for sponsoring it. I am very, very truthfully thankful. Thank you so much. And well, I have the music pulled up. Give me one moment and I'll be right back with you guys with the music. All right, here we go. So we have it right here, and let's start it off with Mack the Knife, Darin. Here we go. Enjoy.
Oh, the shark, babe, has such teeth, dear, and it shows them pearly white. Just a jackknife has old Maggie Heath, babe, and it keeps it out of sight. You know when that shark bites with its teeth, babe, scarlet billows start to spread. Fancy gloves, though, wears old Maggie Heath, babe, so there's never a trace of red. Now on the sidewalk, ooh, Sunday morning, lies a body just oozing life. Can someone sneaking round the corner? Could that someone be Mack the Knife? There's a tugboat down by the river, don't you know, where a cement bag just drooping on down. Oh, that cement is just, it's there for the weight to dare. 5 will get you 10, old Mackie's back in town. Not to hear about Louis Miller, he disappeared, babe, after drawing out all his hard-earned cash. And now Maggie Heath's been just like a sailor. Could it be our boy's done something rash?
So I do have to stop. I apologize if the stop is, so abrupt, but I just have to. I don't know where. It's not gonna stop. There's no stop in the music. This just gonna go on. So I've heard. I'm pretty sure I've heard this before. In some movie. I think I don't know. I was pretty obsessed with a movie called Quiz Show. And I don't know. I think that's in that movie. But I think it's not sung by Bobby here. I think it was Sinatra. But I could be wrong, These guys were so epic. And this swing is just like, oh, man. My dad was obsessed with music like this. I would constantly hear Sinatra all day. So I'm sure I've heard this before in some version or by some artist. Maybe not this one, but what a version. I don't know if this is the original version. Let me know. But I presume it is, because JK would have said, well, do the original version. So I guess that's the one. But I'm sure in some kind of Scorsese movie, I always go back to Scorsese. I mean, he is one of Hollywood's best directors for a reason. Also, the music has to do with the film. Most of the best directors in cinema history always use very, very popular music, and this, of course, is one of those songs. But yeah, I'm having it's beautiful. All the horn instruments, that piano, it's just like that. That swing is just very, very cool. I love it. Enjoy it very, very much. Here we go.
And old Lucy Brown, the line forms on the right, babe. Now that Maggie's back in town, I said, Jenny Diver, whoa, Suki Tawdry, look out to Miss Lottie Linya and old Lucy Brown. Yes, that line forms on the right, babe. Now that Maggie's back in town. Look out, old Maggie's back.
Yes, I've definitely heard this before, but not this version, because when he said Maggie, I remember that now, that line. It just sounded, Sinatra's voice was a little bit lower, and I don't know, or the recording was newer or something, but it just sounds, the way I have it in my head sounded a little bit different. So, but what a great song. I love it. I wish I could do a whole marathon of, actually, I've done some Sinatra, and it always, brings me to tears. I don't know. I think I did Summer Wind, and I couldn't hold back. It's just beautiful, beautiful music of a wonderful time in the world, So, okay, so this is September song. Now, Lou Reed, I've had my encounters with Lou Reed. When I was listening to, I think, what was it? Is that Lou Reed? Give me a second. I don't want to make any mistakes here. Let's see. I think, yeah, Velvet Underground. That Velvet Underground song, I was just like, I was not a fan of, and I got a lot of flack for it. But hey, that's my opinion. And I'm always going to be honest. So yeah, so this is Lou Reed, September song. Here we go.
When I was a young man courting the girls,
that's him.
I played me a waiting game. If a maid refused me with tossing curls, oh, I'd let that old earth take a couple of whirls, while I plied her with tears in place of pearls. And as time came around, she came my way.
Wow.
As time came around, she came.
It's amazing how much he's... Excuse me. It's amazing how much Bowie sounds like Lou Reed, and Lou Reed sounds like Bowie. Or, you know, I don't know who came first, but very, very similar style in the voice and even the delivery, you know. Cool.
For it's a long, long while from May to December, and the days grow short when you reach September. And I have lost my teeth, and I walk in a little lane. Hey honey, I haven't got the time for any waiting game. And the days turn to gold as they grow few. September, November, and these few golden days, I'd like to spend them with you. These golden days, I'd like to spend them with you. September, November, and I'm not quite equipped for these waiting games. I have a little money, and I've had a little pain, and these few golden days, as they grow so few, these golden days, I'd like to spend them with you. These precious golden days, I'd like to spend them with you. September song, September song, September song, September song.
Perfect. Very, very good. Changed my whole the outlook that I have, you know, over Lou Reed. It was never negative. I just didn't enjoy, you know, that particular song because it was just not enjoyable, you know. But this was great. I loved the bass line. I loved the little solos here and there. But I mean, here it is about him, you know. It's about, you know, the lyrics and the delivery and his voice. And I guess he has a little bit of a lower voice when he's singing. You know, there's like two types of Bowie, the young Bowie and the early albums, and then the later 80s and 90s Bowie, where he got very deep. And I think that is even deeper than Lou Reed. But when Bowie when Bowie does the normal voice, the high voice that he has usually a higher voice, Lou Reed is lower than Bowie. But then I think, I don't know how he does it, but Bowie just sings very, very low. It's like, oh, well, you know, I I can't do it. I wish I could, but Bowie is very, very low. It just has very iconic voice. I really enjoyed this though. It was just good. It was feel good. The singing was still in his style, still Lou Reed. You could still notice it's him, because he has like this special, like, I don't want to say strange, but he has like this way of singing, you know, that's very talkative, very, he's not like doing scales and stuff with his voice, you know, he's like very simple delivery, but very unique to him, you know. So this was great, and I love the bass line, the boom boom boom, you know, going along, and there's trumpets there, a little bit of horns and stuff. Really cool. I did enjoy it very, very much, way more than my first experience. But hey, you know, maybe in a fan, I'm gonna be a Lou Reed fan, and all this stuff is gonna be gone. How about that? You know. You know, you never know where your mind's gonna take you. You know, you can obsess of pretty much over any musician that you had never heard, and then, you know. So, okay, Jackson 5. Of course, I know who they are. The brothers of Michael Jackson, and I think Michael Jackson is part of this, of course. Corner of the Sky from Skywalker. No, I'm just kidding. Skywriter. Let's see. Skywriter 1973. And but I've never heard like Jackson 5. I think I know they do the ABC. Dun, 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 dun. Is that, let me see. I want to see if they do it. ABC, yeah. Okay. And that's, I guess, one of the most famous tracks, you know. Oh my, I love ya. You know, little Michael. But yeah, let's go with Corner of the Sky. Let's see. I'm sure it's gonna be fantastic. These guys were under a lot of pressure. The stories that, you know, are being told that their father was very, very hard on them. But I mean, also the success that Michael had, I think, had to do with, I think, his father. I mean, I don't encourage, you know, overdoing it when it comes to pressure. And I do encourage, you know, supporting your kids, especially when they do music. And also like, hey, you know, how's your practice going? And then I would, if I had children and they would take up an instrument, I would be like, not behind them, you know, like this guy, but I would kind of like try and make them practice as much as they can, as much as they're comfortable with, but in a way that doesn't feel forced. And if they don't want to, you know, you can't really. That's why, like, I'm so surprised with, especially in Japan, like kids at a very young age are already so good, but I think it's because their parents just make them. And I think they just do it like a robot does it, like it's just muscle memory. And I don't even know if they're enjoying it. It's perfect, but it's just like because they have to. That would never happen with me. I would be like, hey, if you love it, then I'm going to try and make your practice time the best experience that you can have, you know. But that's just me. Let's talk. Let's talk about a little bit less about the Jackson 5s. But let's listen to the music. Here we go.
Everything has its season. everything has its time. Show me a reason, and I'll soon show you a rhyme. Cats sit on the windowsill, children sit in the show. Why do I feel I don't fit in anywhere I go?
Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free.
Gotta find my corner, ooh, of the sky. Every man has his daydream, every man has his goal. People like the way dreams have what's sticking to the soul.
Thunderclouds have the lightning, nightingales have their song.
And don't you see, I want my life to be something more than love, yeah.
Rivers belong where they can ramble. Oh yeah, yeah. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free.
Gotta find my corner, ooh, of the sky. Of the sky.
So many men seem destined to settle for something small. But I won't rest until I know I have it all. So don't ask where I'm going, but listen when I'm gone.
Far away out there missing.
Softly to the dawn. Oh, rivers belong where they can ramble. Oh, eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Yeah.
Gotta find my corner, ooh, of the sky, yeah.
Wow. Like, it's just such a good production. It just sounds so good, and everybody sings so well. And you can hear, of course, when Michael comes in, he has the youngest voice. And it must have been so real to see him just go off, you know, like have this stardom all of a sudden, like this amazing stardom, you know, that he had. I don't know what they were going through as siblings, you know. Usually you're very happy for a sibling when they succeed, but I don't know, you know, I don't know the circumstances. If there was any jealousy, I hope not. I hope they really were like stoked to see their little brother just like take off and become like this icon, you know. And so good. I mean, all their voices are so polished and sound so this is like something that I've always been, when I listen to that ABC song, I always think like Michael Jackson obviously sounds like a child, but he sounds so grown up already. The delivery, you know, and here as well, it's so good. Oh my god! And then 8 million monthly listeners. Like, so Jackson 5 is definitely being played still. You know, I love it. Very cool. Okay, let's continue. I did have to stop. You know, I just wanted to talk about this because sometimes I just like I have an idea that I want to talk about, and at the end of the song, I'm like, oh man, I totally forgot what I was gonna say. So here we go.
Yes, I do. Gotta find my corner.
Gotta find my corner of the sky. Sky.
Where my spirit
Oh man, so cool. Wonderful. Okay, I mean, just the whole production of these guys is so well, like, it sounds like Earth, Wind, and Fire, you know, literally, like, that kind of music, you know, I love it. Okay, the Fifth Dimension. Now, the Aquarius, of course, I've heard, you know, the Aquarius, but I don't know if this version, but there's like this, story. So my mom was part of, I think, not the cast of, I mean, yes, of the cast of Hair in Munich. She told me, and I don't know, there was this part where they wanted her to be like naked and wrapped in some kind of flag, and she was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. So but she was part of it, and she used to play me the Hair, but in German. It's really cool. Like, there's a German version of Hair, and it's the same lyrics, it's just in German. And German, believe it or not, is very similar to English. The words like Hand, hand, door, Tür, and stuff like that, you know. It's just like, that's why Alexia, she's like, my God, German is like so easy. And it's not really, because first of all, the whole, like, we say, well, I'm not going to get into it. It's just very difficult, trust me. I'm not going to spend 30 minutes explaining German to you guys, but it is very hard, and it's very hard to shake as well, you know, especially when you speak a different language. Immediately people are like, this guy's from Germany, because the accent is so thick. So that doesn't happen with Swedish. Like, Swedish people are one of the best English speakers that you kind of like, okay, this guy's not from here, but I can figure out where he's from. Mostly Scandinavian. But with German people, you know, they're from Germany. So, but yeah, but there's a lot of similarity. Like, the words just sound the same. Okay, but let's check out what version this is, and if it's the one that I've heard before, you know, I'll of course raise my hand. But let's see, you know, and I can't wait for yes. But this is Aquarius, and then of course / Let the Sun Shine In, from the Fifth Dimension. Here we go. Sounds like Moody Blues. So I don't know if I've heard this one before. It's very familiar. Like, trust me. The like, that is obviously very embedded, like, in my mind. But the whole, like, arrangement, I don't know. You know, it could be not. I'm not sure, but I'm enjoying this very, very much. That's all that matters. It's like listening to it for the first time. This is so well written, and the instruments and everything is so good.
When the
good. Oh man. Man, it's so like this music, this era is like on a different level. Of like, I love the creativity, you know, of the 70s, the 60s, and the 70s. And I'm so happy that I was raised by someone who lived through this time, you know. I can't really say that I was raised by my dad because he was never really there, unfortunately, but my mom, she was, and that's why I've always been there, you know, for her as much as I can. I think I've been in charge of my mom since I was 16 years old, and I've never really left her side, you know, but also because the first 16 years were so good, and they were only so good because of the philosophy my mom had learned throughout her years, being you know, a child from, you know, World War II, you know, I would say like victims, you know, because my my grandmother was French and my grandfather was German, so they got pulled into this whole like terror, you know, and they had to participate being in Germany, and then my mom was born, I think, 46, right after World War II, and she remembers that when she was like 3 or 4 years old, she would like literally play with rubble, with rubble. So growing up in that time, and then, you know, in the 60s and 70s, you're in your 20s, and going through that time, it must have been amazing. You know, I guess most of you guys were like in your teens, or you were, you know, maybe like just kids, but she was like full on an adult, you know, and so she had like a totally different philosophy of like life, and thanks to that, I got a very good education, just as a human being, how to behave and how to be, just how to be, you know, and I'm very grateful. And it wasn't like, don't get me wrong, this was not, you know, this was tough. This was still when parents were allowed to be parents, whatever they wanted. So it wasn't abusive or anything, but it was tough. So I was like taught, like, okay, I'm gonna tell you once and that's it, you know, like stuff like that. And I was very obedient after, you know, very, very quickly. Like as a child, of course, some things you don't understand, but then they know, the parents know when you play dumb, you know. So I get just like, you know, I'm gonna tell you once and that's it. And if we have a problem, then you know what's gonna happen. And I'm like saying, it was not like constantly being smacked around like they were from their parents, because then it was still, you know, you were even, I think there was even in school you got you know, corrected or whatever they called it. But no, my mom was like never in the face, always on the butt. You know, so I knew I got a spanking. I would get a spanking, but she was fair. She would give me, you know, she would tell me, okay, I told you, and now I'm gonna tell you one more time. And I just like, I only can thank her now, because it made me the person that I am. Like when it's about time, I'm always on time. I'm actually always early. That's just a trait that I got very, very, very soon in my life. Just also like I just, you always ask, and you always say good morning. You always greet someone. You always, you know, I don't know. That's just things that are, why would you not do that? You know, it's just stuff, you know, it's that I'm very grateful for, that my mom, you know, implemented into me as a child. And she was always fair. She was always fair. And I don't know, and I think that's because of the generation that she grew up in, and also that the time she lived through. And I remember being 4 years old, and she played me Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and classical music and Paganini and Vivaldi and Mozart and Beethoven. And it's just, I'm very thankful having had a mother that was so giving, you know, and so she made me into a good person. That's what I believe. Okay, so now I'm gonna stop talking about my mom, but I love her to death, and I'm very thankful for everything. You know, even the stuff that I didn't like as a child, but I know she was doing it for my good, and that's what a lot of kids don't understand nowadays, unfortunately. So let's close it out with Something's Coming by Yes, from their first album. Wow, Alexia's gonna kill me. 1969. But we've done some stuff from this album, but not this one. This is a 7-minute epic, so get yourself some coffee, you know, something here. I have mine, or maybe if it's, you know, I don't know what time you're watching this, but, you know, get yourself whatever, or don't. Do whatever you like. So here we go with Something's Coming by Yes. Here we go.
Soon as it shows, give me a cannonball down from the sky, give me this eyebrows are rose. Who knows? It's only just out of reach, down a block, on a beach, under a tree. Got a feeling there's a miracle you gotta come through, coming to me. Could it be? Yes, it could. Something's coming, something good. If I can wait, something's coming. I don't know what it is, but it is gonna be great. With a click, with a shock, phone will jingle, door will knock. Open the lights. Something's coming, I don't know what it is, but it is gonna be great. coming to any day. I'll know right away soon as it shows. Make candle on down the sky, even side bright as a rose. Who knows? It's only just out of reach, down a block on a beach, under a tree. I got a feeling there's a miracle too, gotta come through, coming to me.
Wow. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna interrupt this one, like, but I'm only gonna do this once because I know, especially Yes fans are very, you know, and you can always come and listen to this by yourself, you know, but I know interruptions suck, and I took one for the team, you know, because I wanted to just take it all in. I can't tell you how good this was, but I can't talk about specific parts because it was just too much information. But I can hear the band that they became. You know, I noticed that two very key people are absent for now here. Like, Steve Howe is still not here. This is like we have Peter Banks, and then instead of Rick Wakeman we have Tony Kaye. But I mean, these are master musicians as well, like you can't take that away from them. But I mean, I just think that the lineup with these two, and then, you know, John, and then Chris and Bill, I think that's my second favorite. I think Alan White is even better, not as a drummer, just in the lineup for my taste. I think the songs they came up with, I don't know. I love Bill Bruford because I have this love towards him because of Alan Holdsworth. They worked together on numerous projects like UK and Bruford, and it's just wow, you know. But and when it comes to Yes, I think that lineup is just my favorite. But wow, what a song. It's so good. Everything, even he, though this guy was not Rick Wakeman, beautiful keyboards, beautiful guitar, also harmonies with the keyboards. The bass, Chris Squire was just killing it like he always does. And also the harmonies, you know, singing with John. Chris is like on his A game. You know, it's just like they're already, they were becoming that band that they became, and this is their first album, but it sounds amazing, you know. It's like when I don't know if you guys are Iron Maiden fans. I always talk about Iron Maiden. They're basically my Yes, you know. They're one of my favorite bands ever. And if you don't know Iron Maiden, please check them out. Their first album came out in 78, so it's still 70s music. Come on. But yeah, so when I hear through the first album, I was like, wow, yeah, I can totally hear that they were getting to the, like when you hear the third album and the fourth album, you're like, that's what was going on the first and the second album, but it was still not as fleshed out, you know? So that's what you can hear here in this tune. It's already there, the talent is there, but the structure, and this was a great song. The composition was amazing, but it still doesn't have that element that they needed to go into like the superstardom, you know, with but because John is there, but he's not that dominant, you know, and so but it sounded amazing, don't get me wrong. I love Yes. But Alexia, she's like she's the Yes maniac. I'm more like the Genesis maniac. I just love Genesis a little bit more. I don't even know why. I think because it has these beautiful classical passages, and the guitar is just more my piece of the guitar on Genesis. I guess I just like it more. And Tony Banks on the keyboard is just amazing. But you can't compare them. They're both in this level that you can't compare these two bands. But it's just like it really comes down to you know, what your taste is, and everybody's taste is different. And I think I just like Genesis better than I do Yes. I don't know why. You know, I've played stuff from Yes, you know, and I figured out stuff by Genesis, and it's beautiful. It's super like challenging, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. Don't ask me. Maybe it's the voice. But I do love John Anderson's voice so much. But then again, I don't know. Peter Gabriel is just, I don't know, man. It's, you know, you can't even, like I said, you can't compare bands like that. That level is, yeah, you can't. But this was a beautiful marathon. Thank you so much, JK, for making this happen and choosing these awesome tunes. I'm sure this is gonna get a lot of love because, I mean, it has Yes. Oh my god, Yes is literally one of those bands people watch the most on our channel. But also, I mean, Hair, you know, Jackson 5. I mean, everything here screams like top quality. So I'm sure a lot of people are gonna watch this. And thank you so much for listening to me, you know, talk. And, you know, I know I get into a lot of things. And so thank you for your patience, you know, for sitting there and listening to me, you know, babble along. But I do appreciate it so much for you. I do appreciate it so much, you guys being here. You know, if you like the video, please do give it a like. If you don't like the video, give it a dislike. You know, if you like the channel, sub to the channel. There's still, I think, 70% of people that watch us are not even subscribed. You don't have to press the bell if you don't want to get a constant update like, oh, they have released a new video. That only happens if you have the bell on. You can turn it off and then you can just check in. But it does help us to know what our subscription base is actually like. And I think 70% of people that watch the channel have not press the subscribe button, which I even don't subscribe to everything, you know, that I like. It just keeps coming up anyways, but I try and then do, because I want to give that person the metric they have, you know, like you have so many subscribers. And I hear it constantly, like people that have 700,000 subscribers, they're like, oh yeah, 40% of my watchers are not subscribed. And so, but yeah, I don't want to push anyone into doing what they don't want. If you don't want to subscribe, that is totally fine. If you enjoy the channel, that's all I want, you know. And thank you so much, JK, for supporting the channel so much. It's literally been like months and months and months with JK. You know, has been requesting marathons, and thank you so much for doing that, you know, because it does help us out incredibly. And I, you know, basically that gets me up and says, okay, you have to make this video now, you know, because we do a lot of videos, but I think not as much as we used to. But we're getting back on the horse though. Yesterday we did, you know, the Rush video that was not requested. The Metallica video was not requested. So we're trying to, you know, get more into the habit of doing videos, even though they're not a request. Just, and also that are not recommended in the comment section, just like what we think would be cool to do, you know. So thank you so much again, everyone who watches the channel, everybody who likes the channel and who sponsors videos. Thank you so much, guys. It really means a lot. So thank you. Have a wonderful, today's Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.